When the engineering team started excavating the tunnel, at one point, hidden water inside the mountain came out in jet pressure at high speed, filling the tunnel and causing a flood. In Switzerland, the Gotthard Base Tunnel is actually called the Mount Everest of the engineering world. With a length of 57 kilometers, it is not only the longest tunnel in the world, but also the deepest tunnel in the world, built at a depth of 2.5 kilometers. Why did this tunnel become a necessity for all of Europe? How did the engineering team solve the falling rocks inside the mountain, the fast-flowing water, and the wind that could break the train's windows while passing through? If you look carefully at the map of Europe, in its center, there is such a wall of mountains that has been blocking trade and travel for centuries. This wall of mountains is called the Alps. For centuries, people traveled over them on long, zigzag paths, while snow and avalanches would block the way without delay. Bridges were built on these mountains. Railway tracks were also laid, but climbing steep mountains with trains was quite difficult and time-consuming. After this, with time, another major problem arose: to boost Europe's economy and send more goods from one country to another. Now the issue had gone far beyond those zigzag paths. The factories in North Europe and the seaports in South Europe depended on each other. To solve this problem, engineers had only two options: either build difficult and wider roads over the mountains, or do something that had been considered impossible for centuries. They decided that instead of going over the mountain, they would dig a tunnel right through its center, a tunnel that would be the longest and deepest in the world. But this mission, as simple as it sounds, was equally terrifying in reality. Deep in the ground, where a mountain's weight could tear through any steel wall like paper, engineers knew they wouldn't just be dealing with soil and rocks, but with the forces of nature that had never been challenged before. The Gotthard Base Tunnel's construction was no ordinary construction. Its biggest enemy was extreme pressure. Because this tunnel had to be dug 500 meters below a mountain, meaning the tunnel walls would constantly bear millions of tons of the mountain's weight every moment. To experience this pressure, engineers first tried digging a small tunnel, but the mountain's pressure kept trying to close it back. But this was just the beginning. The second major challenge was excessive heat. Whether it's ground or mountain, at such depths, the temperature easily reaches 30 degrees Celsius. In such heat, a person cannot work for more than 15 to 20 minutes. And if the cooling system fails, this tunnel could become a living grave for workers. After pressure and heat, the most terrifying enemy for the engineering team was water pressure. This wasn't ordinary underground water. This was pressure hidden for centuries that, if suddenly released, could pierce through a concrete wall like a cannonball. That's why famous engineers from around the world initially said clearly that this tunnel simply couldn't be built. They said that machines would give up in such a long and hot tunnel. How would workers survive? Besides, the tunnel being dug from both sides would be dug from a distance of 7 kilometers apart. If there's even a millimeter difference in alignment, both teams would get lost in the darkness inside the mountain, and billions of dollars would go to waste. But for Switzerland, this wasn't just a project. It was a matter of survival. Every year, thousands of trucks passed through the Alps. Pollution was increasing, and the roads had exceeded their limits. If this tunnel wasn't built now, Europe's entire traffic system would collapse. Switzerland decided that no matter the cost, this would become the world's greatest marvel. Now, the question wasn't whether the tunnel would be built or not. The question was how to face these challenges. On the 7th of September, this project was officially approved. This wasn't an ordinary tunnel. Its scale exceeded the boundaries of human thought. The total length of the Gotthard Base Tunnel was set at 57 kilometers. That is, from Delhi to Ghaziabad, or from Lahore to Kasur. Such a huge distance, and that too 2.5 kilometers inside the mountain. But in the world of engineering, length isn't just a number. It tells the intensity of the challenge. The rule was that the longer the tunnel, the greater the risk of error. Engineers had to start excavating from both sides of the mountain, and both tunnels had to meet exactly at the 57-kilometer center. If the calculation was even off by a centimeter, the two tunnels would never meet. To solve this difficult problem, calculations were made using laser navigation and GPS technology to determine exactly where to drill on both sides. To make this impossible possible, the world